alayhi wa sallam, the time that we are supposed to be and obliged in Shariah to commence the month is only when we can see the crescent. Rasulullah sallallahu clearly mentioned, Sumu li ru'yati waftiru li ru'yati. You commence the month when you see the crescent. You terminate the month and you start the new month when you see the crescent. And when we speak about the crescent, it does not refer to this line of conjunction where the earth and the moon and the sun are in an equal line. But it is from that time and point when the moon travels up, when it is born, and when at least it reaches 18 to 22 hours of sunlight hitting the surface of the moon. That is only when the crescent can be seen, and that is when, according to Sharia, we are obliged to commence the month. Anything before that, according to Sharia, will not be correct and not be appropriate. Now, coming to the point that will it be correct to commence the month before the crescent? That is at the line of conjunction. According to Sharia, that is incorrect. You cannot commence the month when the sun, the moon, and the earth are in equal line or when they're in conjunction with one another. That is not the order of the Shariat, and that is not what Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told to us. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told to us, as I mentioned to you all, in plain and simple terms, that when the hilal is seen, and that is what Allah refers to in the Quran Kareem, يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْأَهِلَّةِ. When the crescent is seen, that is when you commence the month. And when that finishes off, and when the new cycle starts, when the crescent comes again, that is when you will commence the month. Generally, the issue is about following the Saudi sighting. Technically speaking, I should say that there is common cause here. Those people who claim to follow the Saudi criteria commencing the month, and those people who follow otherwise, there is common cause. Because all claim that they commence the month with the sighting of the crescent. The issue is whether it is possible to have sighted the crescent before a particular time or not. I did explain to you that when the moon is in line with the earth and the sun, that is the line of conjunction. It is absolutely impossible for anyone to have sighted the moon at that time and point. And it is similar to, for example, if it is sunset at 9:30 today, if somebody comes up to you and tells to you at 9 o'clock that I have seen the sun set, would you believe that? For sure, you will never believe that. Because the moon, the sun has never set it. Yes, one person may come, two people may come, 5 people may come, and they will tell to you that I have seen the sun setting at 9 o'clock. So that is such a shahadat. This is such a witnessing that goes against information that is absolute. Any information that goes against information which is absolute would be immediately rejected. How do I apply this with this issue here? The example of seeing the sun at 9 o'clock in relation to 9:30. If you are going to reject such a shahadat, why would you not reject this? If somebody claims to have sighted the moon while the moon is in conjunction with the earth and the sun, or even slightly higher, before 18 hours, for example, just as that is absolutely impossible, just as the impossibility of sighting the sun, sighting sunset before the sunset time. My dear brothers and respected elders, previously a calendar has been prepared by the Saudi authorities from 1409 to 1440. This was a 32-year calendar that they have prepared. And this is how it used to work, but there's a slight change now. Let me further explain to you previously how it should work and explain to you now how it works, and both of them are incorrect. And it is not correct, it is not appropriate to follow that criteria set down by the Saudis in the commencing of the month and the ending of the month. Before, what used to didn't understand it one time, go to those people for a second time, for a third time. Try to understand it more. And then you'll understand the conviction of the matter. You'll understand why there's so many people now that are turning towards the correct path or the path of the Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, where he mentions, Sumu li ru'yati wa qtiru li ru'yati. This issue is not only an issue that is discussed by what many people call as the Indo-Pak ulama. It is not now the issue of the Indo-Pak people. In fact, the reality of the matter is that a large number of Arab ulama, bahut sare Arab ulama, a large number of them, they also question the Saudi criteria of commencing the month and ending the month. They have condemned it and they have objected towards it, and this is something not one or two people that are talking. It has come out in hundreds of literatures. But it is important for us to understand this issue, that go and obtain those literatures. If you don't believe, and if you think it's a matter of prejudice, if you think it's an issue of Indians versus Arabs, then you are mistaken. That is definitely not the issue. The issue is that people across the board, whether they are Indians or whether they are Arabs, and whether they are academics, many of them, this issue is so clear. It's clear as daylight. The wrongness of it is so clear that no person with honesty, no person with truthfulness can defy or deny this. And that is why so many Arab ulama, so many academics among the Arabs, they also question it and they condemn it. Generally what happens is, previously what they used to do is, they used to make the calculation based on the GMT time. That is the time of Great Britain. Example of it is that assuming the moon has been born before 12 o'clock at night, according to the GMT time. I hope you're following. If the moon has been born before 12 o'clock GMT time, now in Saudi, it is already 3 o'clock in the morning. Now once Saudi follows that according to GMT time, the moon has been born. So what they do, Islamic calendar starts off as Maghrib time. Just now will be Maghrib Salah. Now the date will change after Maghrib. So what they do is, because the moon has been sighted before 12 o'clock, so they would accept that and they would assume as though the previous day, Maghrib time, is when the moon was born. Now assuming sunset in Saudi was 6 o'clock. Now, it's already 3 o'clock in the morning. 9 hours has passed by. According to Saudi time, moon was born 3 o'clock, but they would go back 9 hours and say that the moon was born at 6 o'clock. That's the first thing. And then, if you have to go by the crescent of the moon, now the crescent would only start 18 hours thereafter. 18 plus 9 is 27. That is 1¼ day. 24 hours plus 3 hours. That's 27 hours. 27 hours before the crescent could be actually sighted. Minimum. I'm saying 27 hours minimum before the crescent could be sighted. Saudi has already announced the first of the month, for example, first of Ramadan or first of Shawwal. From the Shariat point of view, no ways whatsoever this could be facilitated or this could be accommodated. And just is abundantly clear, it's not only what I am saying, I'm speaking with conviction because I understand the issue, but there are many Arab ulama and academics. For example, the Rabita Alam-e-Islami, such a powerful organization that has such an impact among the Saudis and the rulings of the Saudis, they themselves openly oppose them. Recently, there was a conference in Abu Dhabi. Many Arab ulama I've heard were there, and all of them have also condemned it. Yes, previously they used to follow the GMT GMT time. But what they have done now, instead of going by GMT time, that is the birth of the moon based on Great Britain time, now they follow the birth of the moon according to Saudi time. Even in that case too, the birth of the moon according to Saudi time, 18 hours before the crescent, you are claiming to commence the month from the Sharia point of view that also has no facility and it cannot be accommodated. This clearly goes against the hadith of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Sumu li ru'yati waqtiru li ru'yati. Commence the month when you sighted the crescent, and you end the month, or you start on the following month, or you make a start or make Eid when you sight the crescent again. My dear brothers and respected elders, this is very briefly and in a simplified version as I could to explain to you the reality of the matter. It is now our zimmedari. It is now our responsibility. When we know what the haqq is, we know what the truth is, how can we then, for whatever reason, sometimes reasons of unity have been cited. Reasons of possible calculating errors have been cited. With all that, how can we leave out the hadith and the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? The ummah of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam has been known from time immemorial that whatever it may be, to us, Allah is very beloved. To us, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is very beloved. We will sacrifice everything, but we will never sacrifice the hadith of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam being left out and abandoned. It is our responsibility that we know the truth, that we follow the truth. Yes, some sacrifice has to be made. Some effort has to be made. And I can see, and I have observed, that there has been a huge momentum throughout England where many masajid have now begun to understand this issue. Many masajid have turned. It's not just maybe this masjid or a few masajid. Many masajid have turned. They have made the correct decision, and with them, because it's an issue that you can argue on a sound basis. It's an issue that you can challenge anyone academically, and always truthfulness, it has its attraction. This is such an issue that we should go by our aql. We should not go by our emotion. Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala put our heads above our hearts. And in all our major decisions, we should think in that proportion. We should always think in ratio of our head and our heart. Allah put our heads above our hearts, so let us be rational. Let us not be overtaken by emotion. Let us contain our emotion. There are facts before you. There are figures before you. And this is about Shariah. And therefore, my dear brothers and respected elders, I urge each and every one of you, and I appeal to you,